Welcome home. This is the Residency Podcast. I am Jeff Tomasic with Drew Belcher and Lo Raven,
Yes, sir.
bringing you the biggest guests and stories in entertainment, business, pop culture, and sports from our studio on the Las Vegas Strip inside the Mandalay Bay. Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You know the drill. Big episode, Friday episode. Feeling good. She's your world's favorite UFC Octagon girl, an amazing artist, model, plus she grew up in Vegas, and she's back. Brittney Palmer, welcome to the show.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
So we want to know right now, officially, you've told us you moved back to Vegas.
Yep.
What happened? Why are you back here? Let me know everything.
So when I moved to Los Angeles, I was going to art school, and that's why I moved there in the first place. And I loved California. I was born in San Diego, and I wanted to be this California girl, and I was, and I did 11 years there, and it was fucking incredible. Can I cuss on here?
Yes. You can say whatever you want.
Beautiful. So it was incredible. I had some relationships, and then my last relationship, it's played its course, I guess. And I thought, you know what? Let me go back home, because LA during 2020 just became a shithole. It really did. And as much money as you'd pay to live there, and the streets are awful, and it's just not Los Angeles anymore. So I wanted to come home to my family. My brother's here, my mom's here, my best friends are here, Ariani's here, and I had a house here, so here I am.
It's
and
time.
I love it.
Welcome back.
And
Thank
she's
you.
back.
It's time.
I love it.
Single, back living in Vegas.
Yeah.
This could be a great winter. Great fall, great winter.
I think so. My goal is to try to stay single. My mom's like, Brittney, you have been in relationships, like a steady relationship for like 12 years straight.
Oh, wow.
Because I had like one marriage, and then I had a 3-month gap, and then I had another 5.5 year. And so she's like, you need to take some time to like figure out what it feels like to be alone.
So what's Brittney Palmer, single, 30s, Vegas? What is it? What's going to happen here?
The thing is I'm in my 30s, so
Yeah.
like I don't want to do anything.
Right,
I'm
right.
like,
I get that.
I don't want to do shit.
I get
I don't
that.
want to do shit. I don't want to go out. I can't do
No.
dating apps. Like that would be retarded.
Could you imagine?
Okay,
Oh my
what
God.
would I do? So honestly, it's, I've opened a gallery here, and I've just been focusing on my painting, and I have, the Star Wars project now. So it keeps me really busy, and commissions, and I'm building a show. And I think just focusing on that, and then healing, right? Like healing the reasons why I've chosen men maybe in the past that weren't necessarily aligned with me. And why do you choose these people? So then you heal these things. And from my upbringing here in Las Vegas wasn't necessarily the easiest. And I think that you carry that pattern with you into your adult age. So that's what I'm doing.
We're all tired too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're in our 30s. We're all tired too.
Yeah, basically.
I'm the only married one, so I get to be tired.
Yeah. Well,
Dude, I got a 2.5-year-old toddler. Once they start walking and kind of
Yeah.
communicating, become little shitheads.
Yeah.
It's a full-time nightmare.
100%.
and especially your toddler.
Oh, yeah,
would
he's
be-
a monster.
He's a menace.
Monster.
He's
Yeah.
a menace. I have a girl, luckily. Not
Yeah.
that she's not a menace, but
Yeah.
a little less, possibly. By the way, are you, between artists and your UFC world, when it comes to guys, do you like the artist type of guy, the athlete type of guy, like the funny guy?
I dated one of each.
Okay.
Ooh.
So,
So-
0 for 2. So
Okay.
what's the third one?
Yeah. You know what? I don't have a type. My friends always, when I'm like, oh, there's this one, she's like, let me see. Because he does not look like the last one. I have no type.
No blueprint?
Not really. It's a personality thing, I think, is main, like what drives me the most. They have to have a personality. They have to look after themselves and their girl, I guess. But I don't know. I don't have a type.
No,
It's
sorry.
weird.
Not responding to any of the DMs, are you?
No.
Zero.
Very
Sorry,
wild.
guys.
Do not fire away the
Sorry,
DM.
guys. Zero DM. Don't even worry about it. It's not happening. Okay, I love that. Not sure if a lot of people are aware, but you, not only are you a UFC Octagon girl, have been for a long time, but
Yeah.
you've been since like almost the very beginning.
Yeah.
So what was the UFC like in the early days for the Octagon girls, like in 2005, 2006?
You know what? It was because it was a lot smaller than it is now, of course. It was just like a big family, and we were all just like excited. Everything was new. Every event was new. Every city was new. We hadn't been there before. And when the crowds just got bigger and bigger, we're just like, oh shit, look what's happening. Like, this is cool. And to be an Octagon girl when there was no females really in the sport at that time,
That's
we had no
true.
female fighters. So we were kind of the main focus, and we got to do Playboy, Maxim, FHM, and they were flying us around, and to get that kind of notoriety and fame within doing something like, I thought this was a gig. I was like, cool.
Just short-lived,
that was a
right?
cool
Like,
gig.
That's cool, and
some
then
numbers up,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
and then it just becomes, it's a career, and to make a career out of being an Octagon girl, now woman, It's trippy, right?
How did it even come about?
So right out of high school, I was a professional dancer. I danced in the big Vegas shows here. I danced at the Flamingo Hotel. I danced at the Aladdin at the time, which is now the Planet Hollywood. Magician's assistant, did the whole thing. And so I was with some talent agencies while I was here. Best Agency was the agency, actually. And WEC, which was the sister lighter weight class for the UFC. So like it was on Versus Network. That's where Uriah Faber, Cowboy Cerrone, Dominic Cruz, they all came out of the WEC.
Sure.
The 55 and under. And then I think we had 65 for a second. Brian Stan was in it. And so they had auditions. I went to the Hard Rock and I walked in a hotel room, held up a card in a bathing suit, and I got it. And I was the WEC ring girl for a couple years. And then when WEC and UFC merged, they were like, let's bring her. And I was actually working as a cocktail waitress at Pure Nightclub. And I think it was Peter Dropic.
Classic.
And Reed I don't know if it was Reed that was there. I think it was Peter. I don't know. It was one of the head guys now. He comes in and he's like, hey, did you hear the news? And I was like, no, what's the news? You know, I'm sitting here cocktailing. And he goes, you're going to UFC. And I'm like, what the fuck? And like, and it had just gone on Twitter or whatever. I didn't even know. I found out at work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They announced it.
I know.
Right?
It was like
It's like
announced
getting
on Twitter.
drafted.
Twitter found out before I found out. Yeah.
So so when it started, did you eventually, is there like a long-term contract you're on now?
No, it's literally just, you better hold that card and look as good as possible and represent this sport.
Still
and
today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's
Yeah.
like fight by fight every single time? You get a new call every single one?
I mean, yeah. Well, no, I don't get a new call. I mean, as long as you look, I'm a representative of the sport. I've been there
Right.
for 15 years.
Yes.
You know, look the part, keep in shape, love what you do, and you're gonna come back.
Oh, wow.
Dana is, you know, they're very loyal to their family, and I work my ass off to stay here, literally.
Serious?
Yeah.
I like
crazy.
that.
I mean, that's
literally.
crazy that there's no long-term contract.
Yeah.
But I mean, again,
But it makes sense. Like, what happens if you get pregnant? I mean, there's things that
I
can
know,
happen.
but you girls have kind of blossomed and turned into like these ultra superstars within the sport, to where there's actual fan bases for people that watch the fights now, strictly for you girls.
Yeah.
For sure.
We love them.
I mean, you guys know that, yeah.
We're grateful. Thank you.
Is that crazy?
I think it's fucking awesome. And you know what's great is because as an artist, as a painter, making that decision to make that leap and get out of the modeling and the cocktailing and this whatever, I knew that because of this fan base, these incredible people who have followed us for years, I knew I would always be okay. And I am. And I
Right.
think that that's something so special to know that they've followed us, you know, for 15 years. So I guess a kid when he was 15 years old that was watching us is now 30. Like, you know, we kind of grew up together
Yeah, that's
in a
crazy.
way.
That's
And-
wild.
Yeah,
That's
isn't that
crazy to
crazy?
think
That's wild.
Or, you know, so anyway, so yeah, it's crazy, but I'm grateful, and I love the UFC fans, and yeah.
Do you like when you're there and obviously people are chanting and yelling for the fighters?
Yeah.
Are you hearing your name just yelled out at you all the time?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, you get cat called, and people are like, Brittney, #1, you know, it's fun. They have a good time.
Are you just
That's what we're
zoning?
there
Are you
for.
just zoning out? Like, what are you doing between the fights?
Looking for my friends.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
There's also small girls now, younger girls that are like kind of looking up to you girls as role
Yeah.
models and want to be like UFC ring girls when they get older and grow up.
Yeah.
I listened to like a little girl tell that, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. They're like, they wear like little UFC outfits for
Yes.
Halloween. They're like, I'm gonna be a
Yeah.
ring
Yes,
girl.
that's
It's
true.
so
I could see
cute.
that.
When I merged from WEC to UFC, a girl out there, she got a WEC outfit and a UFC outfit, cut it in half, and
Put 'em
glued it together and wore it. And I was like, genius. That was her Halloween costume.
Are there
I-
Brittney Palmer Halloween costumes we're going to
There
see this
are.
weekend?
Well, I mean, there
Wow.
has been. I don't know if they're
Oh,
this year.
wow.
Maybe like a little artist ring girl, you know,
Yeah.
running around with
Yeah.
like a
Just a
paintbrush.
little bit of
It'd be
everything.
Where's the
cute.
outfit with the
Paint over
paintbrush?
here.
For sure.
Low-key a cute idea.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, see? Push it out there.
Maybe I'll be that.
Yeah,
right?
put it out there. Yourself.
Yeah.
Just a different version of you.
I don't have a costume this year, so I'm just going to be me, I guess.
Myself.
Yeah.
Have you ever completely messed up walking around the octagon? No trips. Come on, one trip.
No, I
Really?
tripped. Okay, I've tripped coming down the stairs before, but it wasn't my fault. So a guy, he used to work for us. He was down there and catching the cards as I dropped it, and he
Yeah.
was kneeling down as you would if you were to propose to somebody, and he had his leg out, and I tripped over his foot, and now it's an actual gif. And so I trip, and then because I'm a dancer, I did like a spin to try to like play it off, but it actually made it more obvious. I think I like did a trip and a spin. So that wasn't my fault. I was technically tripped. But other than that, no, I've never messed up. It's not that hard of a job. You
That's
just walk.
right. No, I mean, like most of the time, it's obviously wouldn't be your fault, but like a cord's in the way,
Yeah.
or like someone's not doing
You
what
just
they're
take your
supposed
time.
to.
You walk. It's a circle.
I don't know.
Well,
I
an
just feel like
octagon.
there's so many
It's an
people watching. There's so many millions of pay-per-view buys. You're wearing heels.
I'm not wearing heels.
You're not heels? No heels?
No, we're sneakers.
Sneakers? Oh, you guys are good. There's no
That's what I'm
tripping.
saying.
You guys are
Really?
fucking
Oh,
good.
yeah.
We don't have to like climb in the rope. It's not boxing. We're on the cage. It's like hard, you know.
Oh, you guys are good.
Oh, fine.
Are you like all the fights you guys are doing, even like the international ones, as well?
It depends. So, if we wanted to do them, we could. We can just ask. But I think we've done it for so long, and we all have our own careers. And Ariane has her son.
Right.
I have my career. It's a little bit more difficult to travel as much, but so we do the local, you know, the U.S. shows, Canada. If I wanted to go to Abu Dhabi, I could. I don't, because it's too far.
So you're not doing the
16-hour
17-hour flight to Dubai
No.
that it's in right now?
No.
Yeah, good job.
So you're literally not
I'd
going to go
rather
there
be here
tomorrow.
with you.
Yes.
Great answer.
Las
Great
Vegas.
answer.
Sorry, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So you sit ringside pretty much every single fight.
Cage side.
Not
Yes.
bad. Cage side. Excuse me. Right. What is your top UFC moment that really stands out to you over the years?
Oh fuck, that's such a hard one. I'll generalize it. I love when Connor fights.
Sure.
I think that he just brings so much excitement to the arena. I really like Stylebender when he fights. I mean, it's hard for me to say a moment because there's been so many of them.
Right.
Does it feel like those fights get just more electricity in the crowd?
Yeah. Well, you get these like major fans and like I said, when Connor fights, you feel it at weigh-ins. You feel like a static electricity hitting your face, and we're just like, you know, it's really, really special to be a part of their career, you know, because these fighters, they don't just train and like, let's just fight one day, you know,
Yeah.
like they work their fucking ass off.
Yeah.
And then when you're going around and watching them grow into these incredible athletes and champions, and then they lose the belt, then they get it back, and then they get two, and you're like, fuck, that's so cool. Like, I think that's my favorite part. It's not necessarily a specific moment. It's just the encompassing world of UFC.
You've had to become the biggest MMA UFC fan over this
Biggest.
time.
And I'm such a snob. Like when I watch fights, like, and I'm not working them, I'm like, shut up. I'm like, armbar, you know, like I know what they're
For
doing. 'Cause
sure.
I can call it out, or I'm like, you know, and so yeah.
You got
I'm
a
into
proper
it.
education
I
for
have a
quite some
proper,
years.
yeah, proper education.
How is your relationship with the fighters? Like backstage, are you guys all cool? Do you guys interact?
Well, I think they look at us like, you know, almost little sister-esque, even though I'm older than a lot of them now. I have surpassed their age.
Semantics, it's okay.
But you know, they're very protective, and they don't treat us with disrespect. It's just like a very respectful, because a lot of them are younger fighters and they've grew up watching us, and
Right,
so
right.
they're like, oh shit, Brittney and Ariane are, you know, ringing
Yeah.
our fights, cool, you know. And I think that they appreciate that, and I think it's a reminder. I almost feel that it is when they come in, and especially if it's their first fights in UFC and they see us, they're like, hell
We're
yeah.
here.
Like, you know
Hell
what I mean?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they've been watching us for so many years, and it's also very cool to be a part of, like I said, their career.
It's kind of part of making it, like
Yeah.
graduating to the full UFC production,
Yeah, you
including
got the girls, you got the
the
thing, and the thing.
I need it all. I want Dana Rinks or Dana, you know, on like right
got
now.
Joe Rogan, Dana, Bruce Buffer, Brittany, and Ariane.
That's
a
how you know you
package.
made
That's
it,
the
right?
company. There it
Yeah.
is. Wrap it up, package it, push it
Sure.
out there.
100%.
Join UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd ever get into like commentating? Hit Joe Rogan up and say, "Hey, let me hop on a mic."
I don't think they want me to commentate.
Okay.
I don't think my voice can carry as much as Joe's, but you know, I'm gonna do this as long as I can. I think when Drew calls me and says, "Brittany, hang it up," then I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll be the guy. I'll
Yeah.
make the phone call like, hey,
That's-
man, you are fucking
Yeah,
trash.
yeah.
Hang it
You are
up.
40.
Get it
Stop.
off. Get it the fuck off.
Or just give like a false congratulations. Oh my God, congratulations on your last fight. You're like, what are you talking about? Oh, I just
You know what
assumed.
it is.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought that was your last fight. That'd be good. You should try. Hit you up. You're good at it. Have it in front of the mic.
Yeah.
I think you have a career there. That's next.
Yeah, maybe.
You slide right in. All right. After watching this for so long, have you ever wanted to get in the octagon and fight yourself?
No, but I do train with Eric, which is Francis Ngannou's coach. And I hit pads. I can hit them well, and I love doing it, but I would never, I could never do it.
No.
No.
You never go for
really
it?
get hit in the face?
No.
Pass, dude. Hard
What about,
pass.
what about the celebrity kind of ones that they're doing?
No.
Boxing.
No.
She's like, don't touch my face.
No chance. No
Not a
chance.
chance.
No chance.
Not
No,
happening.
No. I love to train and hit pads and stuff, but physically, I'm a Cancer. I'm a lover. I don't wanna-
Not about it.
I'm too sweet.
Well, we've had a lot of UFC fighters on here, and sometimes we just ask them, like, at what point did you choose this path for your entire life, for anything else you were good at? Like,
What do they
really,
say?
It's all of them have had different answers,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
Whether
sure.
it was like a requirement or a passion, or that was just the first thing they got into, and it's like you said, it's a huge assumption to just be a fighter for your actual
They're
profession.
like, he must have been bullied. He's gonna fight. No, actually, a lot of them weren't.
Yeah,
They
really.
were the bullies.
Yeah,
They're like,
kind of,
I
yeah.
have to stop beating up little kids and beat up other bullies. No.
Or they just had like that was the one thing that they found they were good at an early
Yeah.
age. Like, all right, shit, this is my only way to, or at least that I know of.
Yeah.
It takes a certain kind of beast to be a UFC fighter, and
100%.
hats off to them. I think what they do is fascinating.
I'm in zero way ready to be a professional UFC fighter.
There's no chance.
Did you have any concerns when they sold the UFC? Did you think it was going to kind of take a down step, or did you think it was going to explode like it did? You had to be worried somewhat.
I wasn't concerned at all. I was excited. I was like, oh shit, we're getting even bigger. Like, this is cool. And
Sure.
it was from WME. So, me being a model, I'm all sick.
Sick, dude.
Nothing happened with that. So, but
all right.
but I think that it was, I trust this organization and the Fertittas and Dana, and I know that everything that they've done to lead them to that point was going to be for the best. So, I wasn't really concerned too much, but some people don't like change. I love it.
Sure.
So I think that's that question.
What's your guys' interaction with Dana White on a concert after this many years?
Dana's like a uncle figure, like he is a friend of ours. He's seen us through a lot. I've had a lot of transitions in 15 years, in my 20s into my 30s. And, he's been there, and he's like, if we ever needed something and, we were whatever, he would be there for us. And the interaction is we see him at weigh-ins, we see him at the fight, we say hi, it's pretty normal.
All love.
Yeah, all love.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's dope. He's really cool.
That's a lot of years to be like the UFC came from such a different place from now to,
For
to
sure.
where it is. It must if you
the
were
world's a different
if you were there
place,
from the
yeah.
beginning and you're still there now.
I know.
There must be like one of those like unbreakable type of bonds.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
feel
really
like.
got to rep the sport, and I think it's important, and know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, fake it.
That's fair.
But I
And
think
in
that's I think that's important, and I know that they know that we love and represent the sport well, and that's why we're still here.
Do you have a top 3 UFC fighters of all time?
I do.
Oh.
Anderson Silva,
Of course.
Conor McGregor.
Sure.
Wow.
Is this in order or just the top 3?
No, not. There's no order. I guess the third one. I'm trying to think if I want to go old or new. I'm gonna say Uriah Faber.
Wow.
Classic.
Okay, good top 3.
Oh,
Classic.
Really
Yeah.
good top 3.
Yeah.
Uriah Faber was on the show one time. Great
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Awesome
what an
guy.
awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, he was my WEC mate, and I think that's it's kind of, you got to give your hats off to the guy who's been with you for that long and in the WEC. And we did a USO tour together in Italy once, which was really cool, and he was so exciting to watch when he was still performing.
He's a badass
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Absolute badass.
Yeah.
How about the Anderson Silva Jake Paul fight that's coming up?
I know. I'm so
What do
that
you think about
Yeah,
it?
what's your take on that?
that's such a hard one. And the good thing is I know that I wouldn't get in trouble for commenting on it because I know Dana hates Jake Paul.
Let's go.
There you go.
So I wish Anderson wasn't doing it because I don't know how that organization is set up.
Sure.
Is that a safe
Yeah, for sure.
way of saying this? So I'm hoping that it's a fair fight.
I'll say it. She hopes that it's not fucking rigged
Yeah.
into Jake's favor and Anderson gets just a huge payday.
Because I really, really like Anderson, and it was sad when he lost the belt, but we all knew why he lost the belt, I think, and I just hope that
Yeah.
My-
But you
So, like-
just said it. You already know Jake's winning that boxing match.
I hope he doesn't. but
Come on, he's
I
already
know.
winning that boxing match.
I know.
It's the way it is.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Unfortunately, but that's the way it
know.
is.
Yeah. So that's what I think about it.
But you think if everything was equal, Anderson Silva was beating Jake Paul?
For sure.
Okay, there you go.
I mean,
Anderson Silva's in his 40s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
42,
Come on, Jake
40
Paul's what, 24?
25, yeah.
25?
You think Jake Paul would win?
In like what?
In
In
boxing
right now.
MMA, no, he wouldn't.
No,
win.
this is a
no way
boxing
in
match.
MMA. There's
Yeah,
no
we're
way
talking
in
about
In
boxing.
boxing,
In a boxing match? Dude, Jake Paul's
Jake Paul is no joke.
no joke.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about and said
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Jake Paul's a good fighter. I
But the
think that-
only reason he's taking the fight is Anderson's older.
yeah.
He's a name.
Probably sneaking a payday into
So
there.
who do you think
He's a
could beat
name.
Jake Paul realistically in a boxing match? Fair fight.
Any professional boxer right
Any.
now that's the same age, same
or
weight,
even
same
fighter.
everything.
It could be UFC fighter that's going to box.
Can't be. It's got to be an actual boxer that
Yeah.
focuses strictly on boxing and knows the game of boxing, the mindset of boxing, the maneuver
Do you know
of
boxing that well?
No, I don't. But I'm a boxing fan. But I think anyone that's of the same age, same size, that's a professional fighter right now with fights under his belt would fuck Jake Paul up. That's why he doesn't fight any.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he fights the names.
He's regardless of anything, what he's done is smart.
Absolute fucking stud.
10,000%. 10,000%.
Absolute stud.
I mean, I don't know too
10,000%.
much about it. I wouldn't ring girl for him, but he figured out. He
Absolute
figured out that
stud.
matrix. I don't know. He
Paydays,
figured it out.
paydays.
Yeah.
There is something else that besides the fact that he's been trying to get fighters to fight him, and I think a lot of fighters who are in the real fighting world understand the risk reward isn't there.
I think it is there though.
No, but I'm saying, yes, a short payday, but they know
If they lose, they're
Right.
done.
Yeah,
they're
facts.
done.
They
Your
know
career's
in
over.
the boxing world, their ability to book fights forever after that will probably change drastically.
Sure.
So maybe a quick payday isn't worth, because look, anything can happen once you get in the ring, regardless of who you are. It doesn't matter. So I think that's why he's having otherwise the paydays are ridiculous compared to the normal boxing paydays. People would be all over it.
So let's hypothetically say for sure, or just say any rigged fight. Just say, if it was, do you think they sign like a contract? Like if we're rigging this, and if you just show up and win it, you're not like, how does that work?
I don't think it's rigged.
I don't think it's rigged.
I don't think it's
I
rigged.
don't know.
I don't think
know.
it's rigged. I think
I don't
it's
think
a
it's rigged.
sanctioned fight. It's a sanctioned fight.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Showtime boxing.
It would be such a risk
this
to
is-
do something like
yeah,
that.
these are like
If
there's
they got caught, it would be one, like, it would
yeah,
not
the
be worth
boxing
it.
commission's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Showtime boxing.
Yeah.
Like this is a real event.
Yeah.
He just happens to be fighting people who are a massive marketing name and way past their prime,
prime, yeah,
because
exactly.
people that are in their boxing prime right now
You
are
never know.
either
Anderson
too far.
might take this bitch home.
But if he does, then amazing, right? Then
Yeah,
he
for
went
sure.
after it. But I do feel like from a people who are in the boxing world, who are boxers right now, I think that they assume that the risk isn't worth the reward.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yet,
It's not.
until Jake maybe gets 10 fights under his belt and really is 10-0, and then the boxing community is like, okay, we got nothing else to say now. You don't want to be that one who comes in and jumps in, takes the payday, and gets squashed.
Yeah, facts. Because then your career is over.
Exactly.
For sure.
Then you got what you would have made for 3 fights, but then your career takes a 5-fight backwards turn rather
Yeah,
than
facts.
just like
That
keep
makes
going.
sense.
I feel like I could get paid to, like, do it. Like, I would, like, as a UFC, you know what I mean? Maybe I would do it. Maybe I will get in the fight game. I'll fight Jake Paul.
Okay, there we go.
Let's go.
I'm going to lose anyway.
Let's go.
Might as well get paid
Might
by
as well
more.
get paid that much, you know?
Yeah, if you and Ariane Celeste fought, who would win?
Because I'm her best friend, I will say her.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck
Very-
that.
very
No,
politically
no,
correct.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, and
that's
if you
what
weren't best friends, who would win?
I don't know. I think I'm a little taller than her, so maybe I have better reach.
You win.
There
There
it
it
is.
is.
You win.
There
I was
it
gonna
is.
say it.
I'm
There
like
it is.
half of an inch taller.
Very
There you go.
safe answer.
Whatever it takes for a disclaimer. She needs a reasoning behind
uh-huh.
it to back it up.
Yeah.
I love that. By the way, speaking of more UFC stuff, can you walk us through this Simpsons meme about
What?
you and that Conor McGregor posted about
Oh.
Khabib?
Yeah. What was it? Do you have it?
I can bring it up. Yeah.
Bring it up. It was
It was like when Khabib talked shit about the ring
yeah,
girls.
yeah, when he's like, don't watch or something.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Khabib made that comment about the us and how he wouldn't have ring girls. And stuff.
This was it.
It's so good.
Khabib.
Yeah, and you responded to Conor when he posted it and was like, so apparently the story was that Khabib was talking
Yeah.
bad about
Ring girls.
ring girls in general, that
Yeah.
they were like unnecessary
Yeah.
or something. And Conor McGregor came up and like posted the meme of The Simpsons where Khabib was like closing his eyes
Mm-hmm.
to like any girls, and it
Yeah.
was her and Ariane.
That's
How did
funny.
that come about? Because that was hilarious.
You know, he made those comments, and I think that everyone had a field day with it. And listen, I think it's funny, and it was all tongue in cheek. It's a cultural difference. It's not. I'm not surprised. Like that's not what they represent there. So it's
Right.
it's not like he would say the opposite would be. If he said the opposite, that would have actually been more off-putting than what he had said. So it didn't bother me. I wasn't offended. I think we were just kind of playing and having fun with it. And I think it's fun to initiate a conversation. Connor started it, and I was like, well, that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
That was actually funny.
It was a classic meme. It was a good meme. I mean, it must, like, even when it does happen, I think it's just a testament to, like, you guys are a part of the world, whether people like it or they don't like it.
You don't have to have us. It's okay. We didn't want to work it anyway.
Yeah, like, you're a part of the world.
UFC loves us.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
Fuck
Fuck him.
Sorry. You're doing just
Yeah,
fine.
we're doing good. I'm busy. It's fine.
Doing just fine.
Yeah.
If you type in your name into Google,
Yeah.
or you type in Octagon Girls, the number one question that everybody wants to know is how much money do Octagon Girls make in the UFC?
Not as much as they say we do. Oh my god.
There's a lot of answers.
There's
on
a
the
lot of-
internet.
it's very
They
spread.
say we make a lot. I'm
Yeah.
like, I wish. I think I showed it to Dana, and I was like, Dana.
This
The
is
world
what they're
thinks
saying,
we should be
Dana.
making
So
this.
let's prove them
Yeah.
right. You know,
Yeah.
we do not make nearly as much as what they're saying, and I think also whatever numbers that they're pulling, I'm dying to know how they're finding it. And they're saying, you know, oh, the ring girls make more than the fighters, and they base it off of like per fight, but maybe not how many fights we work a year. So like if we're working, you know, 13, 14 fights a year, so maybe they're taking like the yearly income of what we're making, but we don't make as much as what they're saying. I'll say that.
Got it. So the internet's
But we
wrong.
do well.
Okay.
They treat us well.
And it's per fight, right? You guys are
And it's per fight, yeah.
'Cause it-
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, you kind of get to pick and choose your fights now,
You
correct?
get to, we work the pay-per-views. We have a couple Apex fights in there. You know, we have fun. We come to work and we leave.
And then we leave, dude.
You know what's
And then we go about our lives,
Yeah.
our real big lives.
Our real big life. Do you
that
know what's,
don't have anything to do with this.
do you know what's insane is like when you have like those Forbes lists,
Yeah.
it just makes you wonder, right? Because there are some like, articles that definitively said what Brittney Palmer makes as a UFC
How
ring
much?
girl. That was obviously incorrect.
Well, what were they?
They're obviously incorrect because there was 5 different numbers each single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
There was like she makes $500,000 a year from being a
be
UFC
so
ring girl.
cool.
She makes $350,000.
Would be so
for-
cool.
You know, you're being a UFC
All right, we're
ring girl.
fishing, so we
We're-
know
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
half a million, and we know
Or
it's not
it's not
350.
Yeah.
So there's the answer.
But
Yeah.
like exactly, there's I'm whittling it down. You're welcome, internet.
Yeah.
Now those 2 articles are null and void.
discredited.
Yeah.
We don't know that those articles are bullshit. I don't know how they can even assess how much money I make unless they find my tax returns.
It actually annoys me now that I've probably looked at those Forbes lists a million times over the course of the year,
Oh,
of
yeah.
the course of my life, and now I'm thinking back that they're probably all.
They're probably all bullshit.
They
like I
are.
wonder what it's like to be in a magazine reporting your income and know your income and be like, what the fuck? Or it'd be the opposite, right? Like, God, man,
That would be sick.
Would they get that?
I am fucking poor.
Did I
No,
get-
I am worth way more than that. Yeah.
Did I
can
get a
see that.
raise?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so look, the internet's wrong, guys.
The
I mean,
internet-
you might always think the internet's right, but it's
Yeah.
incorrect. It's incorrect.
Newsflash.
Guys, everything you read about Brittney Palmer on the internet is not right.
Well,
A lot of it?
no, not. There's probably some correct things on the internet about me.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Another thing, obviously, that everyone loves to comment on you about, you're past the cover of Playboy, that like superstardom status
Mm-hmm.
in the very beginning. What was that experience like? Would you do it again?
For sure. I wish Playboy was still in print and Hugh was still here. But Ariane and I was like, we should do one together, do a pictorial together.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Still in UFC, 2 girls play. I know. I would be down to do it again. I think. I mean, I'm an artist. I paint. In art school, nudes. I don't think that there's anything wrong with the body, and I would be down. And doing that experience, I was 23. I just moved to LA. Got a big old check, and I was just like, hell yeah, I made it. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm
Dana
showing my
called me.
tits.
I
Fuck
was
yeah.
actually in art school in class, and I get a call from Dana White, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what did I do? You know, me and my mouth. So I'm figuring I did something. And I answer, and he's like, hey, do you have a minute? And I'm like, oh God, you know, like I'm fired. This is it, you know. And he goes, would you ever be open to doing Playboy? And I'm like, yeah, I would. And he goes, okay, well, are you in shape right now? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, all right, you got the cover of Playboy. And I'm like, and
The
I like,
cover.
and I'm just like, okay, bye. And then I hang up and I go back into art class and I just tell my teacher, I was like, I just got the cover of Playboy. And he's like, what? And like,
I have to go, please.
we're in art school. And so like the people around me are like,
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I just have to tell somebody. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Keep painting, you know?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh my-
And that's just not like an editorial. You got the cover.
Got the cover.
That's
Bro,
what-
and it
it's
wasn't as-
Playboy. It's
yeah.
not like
Yeah.
anything else. It was Playboy at like one of the
Yeah,
pinnacles.
that's the time.
Yeah,
It was
for
Playboy
sure.
when Playboy was Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with
Playboy's,
that.
yeah, different now.
Of course, but when
But
it was
maybe Ariane and I'll spice that bitch right back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this was when social media wasn't as
Yeah.
prevalent, so the print magazine Playboy
Yeah.
aspect
That
was
was
So
it.
still
it's not in print. I don't. It's not in
It's
print.
not in
anymore.
print anymore.
No, not anymore. Not
Oh,
anymore.
Damn, that's crazy.
yeah.
That's wild.
It's just a different
Yeah.
world now.
Different
Yeah.
world.
It's just a different world now. But that was huge. So that changed. What happened after that magazine came out?
Maxim, FHM, traveling, press tours, news. I quit art school because I was busy. I was like,
Hey, later art school. I'm out, dude.
I'll be back.
This is
I'll be
also
back.
my last class.
Hey, later art school.
Yeah.
I'm showing tits for real, dude. We're not painting them. We're
Yeah.
showing them for real.
I'm on the other side now.
Yeah.
No,
Hate me.
my career it blew up, and I just nestled into this new little position, and I was still painting, and then I was even in my articles in these magazines, I was talking about being an artist, because in a marketing direction, I'm like, okay, well, this is what you wanted, now you have free publicity to promote your art and be an artist and do what you want to do and work with these incredible brands and be their creative director and artist, and here we are.
I love that. How many other? Obviously, the UFC gave you the platform, right? Like, what other things have come from that? Like,
From UFC?
yeah, from the major, like outside of the UFC, obviously. What's that exposure? What does it allow you to do? Obviously, Playboy was one of them in the magazine things. But what are some
Oh
other
gosh, UFC has been. I mean, it's hard to say that like one thing led from one thing. I mean, it all kind of just it flowed perfectly, and UFC has just given me the following and that following. So UFC didn't necessarily say, hey, Brittney, here's the Tops project. You're going to paint baseball cards. They didn't have anything to do with it. My following and my name recognition because of UFC
Yeah.
and me creating this certain brand is what tops because, I paint for MLB and I paint for Star Wars. So they were like, okay, well, this is an artist that we see because she has this following and then she can do this job and boom, here she is.
The Tops thing is crazy. The hobby is booming.
I know.
The hobby. So how did you land this collab with Tops? Because that's incredible.
I used to date an artist who did the Project 2020, I think. Project 20. Anyway, Project 70. Anyway, he worked and he did their first project with artist collaborations. So they are UFC fans, the guys over at Tops. So they knew who I was and they knew that I was with Gregory. And they were trying to choose artists for their next round and they wanted more females on the team. And they said, what about Brittney? And Gregory was like, hey, would you be interested? I'm like, hell yeah, I'd be interested.
That's
and
sick.
then we did the project. It was very successful. I got to paint really great baseball players. And you know what was cool about that project? I never really watched baseball. And then I didn't. And so when I started to, you get to choose your athletes.
Sure.
So the year before, they were chosen for them. But now I got to choose. So I was able to discover these incredible athletes that I got to choose and research each one, like Jackie Robinson. I mean, Derek Jeter. I got to really discover Nolan Ryan and fall in love with athletes and baseball. And I'm like, fuck, this is so cool. So that was a really fun experience. And then I had this idea. I'm like, okay, well, I want to keep doing this. This is fun.
Right.
It's taking me out of my comfort zone of painting musicians and abstracts and shows. I like to paint these portraits, and I'm good at it. That's what I studied in school. What else can I do? Star Wars. I wanted Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and I love what Star Wars represents, and it's really, the dark side and the inside, Anyway, not to get cheesy, but...
You can get cheesy. You can do
I
whatever you
feel
want.
I feel like
Yeah.
we get nerdy.
There's
I
a
know,
huge
we get a little
subculture,
nerdy in
dude.
here.
Go
A
A
ahead.
little nerdy.
But so we had a Tops event, and I went up to Michael Lincoln's at Tops, and I said, "Hey, what about Star Wars?" And he looks at me, and I was like, "I would be honored to paint for that, to paint your cards." And he goes, "I love that idea." I get a call about a month later, and they said, "You're now the Star Wars artist." They pitched it. I did a Darth Vader painting, submitted it. They made a whole deck for me, submitted it to Disney and Star Wars, and then they called and said I got it. So
That's huge.
yeah. So I get Grogu, Yoda, Leia, Darth. I mean, I'm doing all of them.
Talk about next level fans, Star Wars fans.
yeah.
I know.
Or probably-
They're dropping right now. Yeah, they're in the middle of. I'm painting Omega right now from the new series.
So So are the cards just single collectibles? Like it's just one, like a single card
Yeah.
in a big set?
Yeah. So they drop. So it's 2 cards from my collection at a time. Every like month we do a drop. You have to buy them. You have 7 days to buy these cards, and then the collection's done. And
how many cards? There's only
20, but now
20.
we're talking about probably extending and doing more because I want to do Chewy. I got, I got stuff to do.
You got all
I
of them.
got paintings to paint.
So there's 20 of each card?
No, there's 20 total. There's an unlimited. The way that collections and tops works
Got it.
is so they only open the drop for X amount of time. So like
Okay.
7 days. You can buy 150,000 cards in 7 days only, and then after
Right.
that 7 days, they're done.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. So that collection that you have makes the collection. So if we sold 4,000 or 5,000 cards, there's only going to ever be that in the history of all Topps cards. Does that
Do
make
you
sense?
get to keep the original?
Yeah,
Ooh.
So you have the originals.
I do.
Wow.
But I'm not allowed to sell them.
And what,
I signed a contract. Yep.
Is it a painting or is it a card?
I paint them. They're actual paintings. So I just
Yeah, and then they create the card.
yeah, then
the
they
card from
create
the
the card.
painting.
Yeah, so I create
Right.
each as a hand painted piece of work. But that's the twist. I can't ever sell them or do anything. So they're mine forever.
That's cool. I love
It's
that.
cool. I in my
Can
gallery.
you gift them to people though?
No.
So
No,
it can never
because you
leave-
don't trust it. The gifting them that they won't.
They're gonna
Sell
flip
it.
Sell
it.
it.
They're
Gonna sell it.
So in my gallery, I created a Star Wars wall. So I painted all of them on the same size canvas. So it's like boop, boop, boop,
There
boop,
you
boop,
go.
and they just live there.
Where's your
forever.
gallery now?
It's in the Arts District.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Las Vegas.
We're gonna swing
Awesome.
by.
Yeah, we're gonna do a tour.
Please do.
For sure.
Yeah, please do. I'll have a big opening, food and wine or kombucha. I don't
Yeah,
know.
When's the
when
opening?
did the art career like really start popping off? Because I mean, not only did you have this huge following, but you're actually really good
Thank you.
as an artist.
Thank you.
You
I'm
are.
not saying that as a friend, but I'm saying it because I've seen
Yes.
the art.
Yeah. So when I had moved to LA, I went to art school, was painting, doing that work, and then when Playboy and stuff hit, I was still painting. But I was traveling so much, and I was in a marriage and doing that kind of whole thing. And when I left that part of my life, that marriage, and I had started dating an artist, I really was like, I wanted to get back into, and I was already into it, but I really like put my head down and forward. And it was helpful to be with someone who was also in that industry because he's super driven and I was super driven. And then both of us together were just like painting every day, all day. And, in the past, I guess, 7 years, it's exploded. And I've been, constantly busy. There's never not something that I have to do in the art space.
How do you unplug and just focus on a painting when I know you're busy as shit and your phone's probably blowing up the
Yeah.
whole entire time, a million things going on? How do you unplug and just paint and focus on a painting?
Mushrooms, no.
Let's go, dude. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
By the way, that's
Go.
been answered multiple times for a lot of questions.
Yeah,
on this
that's
podcast.
good.
I mean, yeah, that helps. But I think that when you really fucking love what you do, like right now, no one's on their phone. Why? Because you love what you do. This is something that we really
said this.
enjoy doing. And it's so important because you know what? If I'm not going to do it, someone fucking else is.
That's
Fair.
true.
It's
very true.
And
It is.
that motivation in my mind, and if I don't practice this, and if I have an outlook, sometimes it does. You're like, fuck, I gotta paint this, and I'll slap myself. I'm like, Brittney, what are you talking about? You're painting for, this person who's buying a commission that they want to have in their house around their children, and like, you really just kind of ground yourself in this is what you wanted, this is what you have to do, and this is your job. And I do the same with working out. I don't like dread going to the gym. It's a part of my office. Like I clock in at the gym because that's what I have to do to keep this other job, UFC, alive.
Right.
If I don't train, I could lose my job. If I don't do this, I can lose my job. So, that's how I unplug is just having a focus and understanding like you're not missing out on anything. There is nothing else that you're supposed to be doing other than what we're doing right now. That's just really being present with whatever it is you're doing. So when you do that, a lot of people who scroll and whatever, it's like they're missing out on the present moment.
For
And I
sure.
think-
You know what? Art is such a fun, like people who are not artists in a way, like actually drawing. Like I think there's obviously a lot of different forms of being an artist, but let's
Yeah.
just say paint or draw. People who can't do it, as one of them, when I go and look at someone who can, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Blows my
I
mind.
don't understand it.
It's like magic.
I don't
best friend is
understand
an
it.
artist.
Have you
It's
ever watched
incredible.
like a sped up video of someone,
Time-lapse.
like a time lapse of someone painting? You're like, that's You're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying.
I always look, it's like magic. Like you have a blank canvas and then pop, like it's just something, it's so cool to be able to do it and to see it as well. Like I appreciate art just as much as I love painting it. I actually appreciate it more than I do love creating it because it's just like your little magic wand is your brush.
Well, I think we appreciate it more because we can't fathom how it's even possible.
Yeah, we can't do it.
It must be interesting, actually, from someone who's not an artist, to like people who are artists and how we look at art and how you look at art
Yeah.
must be like, you can probably see a lot of finite details that impresses
Yeah.
you, where just the general idea that it exists.
I don't have a clue.
It's just
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It looks
Oh my
great.
God.
That's what's
It looks
interesting.
cool, dude.
But that's what makes art so fascinating, because it's relative, right? So it's like your eyes are different than my eyes. So what I see, you don't see. But then that means we might not like the same pieces. So when people like my work, I'm like, that's sick, because there's people that don't like my work. So like, you're my team, you're my crew, because we get each other's eyes.
True.
We're automatically friends.
Yeah.
Some people think my work's shit. Perfect. Not my team. Like,
Fuck
it's
them.
cool.
That's
you know?
cool. That's a good way
And
to put
that's
it.
See
okay.
the world this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, you see your world that way. I see, and that's cool too. I don't like a lot of work, and some, whatever.
We got to intro her to Koa.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
my best friends is an artist, and he's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Especially portraits.
Does he live here?
Lives near Vegas.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
need him.
Perfect.
Maybe we'll do a show at my gallery with him.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, Koa.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He's insane.
He's
Yeah.
incredible, and he does a lot of portraits as well too for some incredible
Yeah, all
high-level people.
A-list
Yeah.
celebrities, athletes, the whole
Dope.
thing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, for
amazing.
sure.
He's done so.
And he's the most chill dude ever.
Yeah, he's the best. So we've been friends with him for absolutely forever.
Yeah.
So when is the gallery officially opening?
Well, it's a private studio gallery, so it's not like open for public. It's open for private events, friends, shows, because I do work there. So, yeah.
By
So,
appointment only.
By appointment only.
Oh, you fucking creep.
Yeah, buy only. Can't go.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't just
So,
pull up.
but I'll have events there, and then eventually I want to start hosting classes for kids, free classes. The one
sick.
thing about growing up in Las Vegas, and Drew can attest to this, there wasn't really a big art program here. Had I had known about art in middle school or elementary school, it would have probably saved me from a lot of what I had gone through with my living situation and what we've seen growing up. And I think that I would love to not just come here and selfishly be like, perfect, Brittney's an artist here. Like, I want to do something great, and I want to start an organization where kids can come and paint for free and give them an after-school program and teach them graffiti and pottery and painting, and just have this place and this kind of foundation where they can, it's like, there's art therapy, and I think it's so important for kids, and I would love to bring that here to Vegas, and that is my ultimate next goal.
I love that.
Shout out to
awesome.
the city of North Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's go. One time.
Yes.
One time.
Yeah.
Swainston Middle School.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's back in the day, dude.
Yeah.
Well, me and Drew will be there
Yeah.
with our kids.
Yes,
we're
please
enrolling.
do. And I also want like kids to teach it as well. Like have like middle school, high schoolers are teaching younger kids like how to paint, and just like letting them be who they want to be and expressive, and just give them that.
Can we get the
room.
first 2 enrollment spots right now?
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
We got it, bro. We're in. We're in VIP.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
2. And look, everything with kids has a waiting list in Vegas. I found out, so I'm getting in early.
Kind of thing?
I'm
That's
getting.
crazy.
Are you kidding me?
I want to touch on Vegas real quick, obviously, because I love this city. You love this city. Now
Yeah.
you're back permanently. What do you think it was? Because I look at a lot of people that we went to school with.
Yeah.
There's not to say that we excelled higher than other people, but there's not a lot of people that we grew up with that are in kind of, I guess, similar positions that
Yeah.
kind of we broke through. What do you think it was, or defining moments, or something about our past growing up in Vegas that kind of set you apart from everything else?
I think that, to be honest, and it sounds, I don't know if it's true, but because I went through what I had gone through, and I had, an abusive stepfather, and I had an sister, regardless, I went through enough. And I think that those things, you ultimately don't want to be like the people who hurt you. And I always strive to be better and to prove to myself that I would not be that girl, and I could get out of here and do something great with my life. And I think that the pain and the hardships that I had gone through growing up made me who I am. And I don't know about anyone else that we grew up with, but they had their lives seemed seemingly normal, but maybe they had their own hardships. And I think that I know my story. I don't know anyone else's, but I think that that's the reason I became so successful, is the traumas that I endured at a young age. And I just knew, like, when I lost my father when I was in high school, and he died of drugs. And I think that that was a big driving force as well, is to not get into that behavior, which I was very fucking close.
Right.
I was doing that same shit. And when he had passed away, when I lost him, I knew that that wasn't the direction I wanted to go. And I knew I wanted to be better, and I knew I could be better. And from that point forward, my junior year in high school, I never stopped. And I just became who I am now.
Because it would be easy to see, like, outside looking in, you look at, like, like if someone watches this episode and they don't know us or our history and they look at us like, oh, those fucking 2 white rich kids probably grew up. If people that don't know, Swainson Middle School, Cheyenne High School, these are not in great parts of town in Las Vegas. And the way we grew up is just, it wasn't easy.
No.
But we made it.
Yes, we made it.
There it is.
We made it. So, Drew, you got on the senior superlatives, you were
I don't remember.
the best couple or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
Best couple?
Was it best looking?
No, I got biggest flirt on senior superlatives.
Sure.
What was yours?
I don't know. It
But
was
remember,
something.
we were trying to opt so that we could get it because I hated to be biggest flirt, and you didn't like who you're partnered with. You're like, we think you should change this because we're
Yeah,
best friends.
I don't remember. I have the yearbook somewhere. I'll pull it up. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll clip it and add it in. But I don't remember. But it was something stupid.
It was stupid.
How big was your guys' high school?
I mean, normal Las Vegas high school, Cheyenne
Yeah, it
High
was
School.
pretty big.
But again, not in the greatest area of town. Again, this was 2002 through 2005. Metal detectors, shootings, gangs. Not good.
Yeah.
But I look at some of the people that we went to high school and it's like I see their lives now on Facebook and I'm like, man, like we all had the same opportunities growing up.
Yep.
Like nothing was given to us.
Nope.
Every fucking thing that I have
There was
now
no
is
rich
earned.
kids at our school.
None.
We were all about the same.
The same.
I do
Yeah.
that.
You know, so
So now, since looking back on that, and obviously you're single now, but eventually, do you want to have a family one day?
Yeah,
Is that
of course.
the prerogative?
I absolutely do. I think that having a child or children is probably one of the most rewarding things in the world. And I want to do it with the right person. And I want to do it for the right reasons. You know, I want to go in healed. I want to not go in needing somebody or choosing this because I'm afraid to be alone. And, you know, I want to go in a completely healed human being. So when I have my baby, we're good. And I know that no one's ever fully healed, but I want to do it when I know that I could. And I'm healthy. I'm young. I have time.
Yeah.
Halle Berry had a baby at like 41.
You're
I'm like,
good.
Hey, you're good.
You're
Brittany.
good.
You're good.
I got UFC things to do. I got paintings to paint. You know.
You know what I do like about Vegas is that when I grew up and where I went to college, everyone was kind of on, and I think a lot of suburban areas are just kind of fast track to having kids, whereas Vegas maybe is more of a little Cinderella, Peter Pan lifestyle,
Yeah.
where like, you know,
Same.
like being like, you know, Lo's still single as well. And you know, but there's no real there's a little less pressure here on doing things maybe a bit later. Like Drew's just had a kid.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just had a kid.
35. You know, I
Yeah.
have a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a 19-month-old. So we're just
I
getting
think
there.
that's still young.
Yeah, we're just getting
Shout
there
out.
now.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
He's like, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We look younger. Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah.
I'm fucking trying,
yeah.
dude.
But so I think there's plenty of time to do it, which I love Vegas. So do you think when you do have family, you'll live in Vegas? Is this where you see?
I don't know. I'm putting roots in pretty deep here now.
I like
mean,
it.
the roots are digging in. I don't know. Probably. Yeah, I like it. I like it here.
I could not imagine living anywhere else or raising my son anywhere else.
Yeah,
only
like
because
I would have to. Yeah, I don't know. Imagine another place I could live right now, and I think that's what, like I said, it's important to stay so present. I tried the California thing. I love California. There's no doubt the weather, the beaches, but when everything else is kind of shit right now, you're like, meh. Like,
Do you have like an all-time Vegas story that you have that you need to tell us that you just want to let the public know, like a little look into your life?
all-time biggest story.
Just a secret you want to just tell the world right now? No big deal.
When I was arrested when I was a junior in high school
fuck yes. Let's talk about it.
Go on.
for paraphernalia and a fake ID.
At
And it's
16.
off my record now because I was a minor, so we're
Hey,
fine.
let's
go.
Legal system.
Yeah. Paraphernalia, fake ID. We ditched school. It was around Halloween, actually. It could have been this time.
Wow.
I think I remember that in high
Do
school.
you remember that?
Yeah.
Happy
And I was
anniversary.
on. Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
I was on the varsity debate team when I was a junior, or was I a senior? Fuck. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Same.
Regardless, and I only had 3. I was a senior. I only had like 3 or 4 classes. Because my credits were all caught up, and they were like, "Oh, you could either have more credits," which I wasn't going to college. So I was like, "Nah, I'll just take off 3rd period, 4th period." So we had left. We were going to find costumes at like the Costume World
Sure.
or whatever it is. And at that time, when we were all little stoners, my girlfriend was smoking a pipe, and we get pulled over. She gives it to me. I like cash it out real quick and throw it under the seat, and then he was like, "Well, ma'am, I clearly saw you do that." Grabs the
busted.
grabs the pipe. We didn't have anything illegal on us. It was just this paraphernalia. And then he grabs my backpack, and he's like, getting my wallet and grabs my ID. And I was like,
Not that one.
I was like, officer, I'm so sorry. That is not my ID. And he goes, oh, I'll get you on this too. And I was like,
Any other bags I should check while you're in
I
here? What else you
know.
got?
And then since I was like Miss Debate Team, I was like, well, you can't do that without my mother present. I'm on the debate team. Like, just such an idiot thinking that worked. It
ma'am,
didn't.
ma'am, shit.
Hey, shut the
You're
fuck up.
under arrest.
Yeah,
Child.
yeah.
And then I was let out. I mean, he took me in, and then my mom came and picked me up, and I just had to do like a class or something. But that's my little rebel story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
Obviously, you're pretty business savvy. You've done a lot of. Where did you learn about the business side of everything? Since you went to art school, you said you didn't really go to college. Where'd you learn that you've been a part of a lot of businesses now?
I just think I'm as a human, I'm very observant and I'm
Right.
self-aware. And I think that that's really all you need to do is just observe around you, hang out with older people. That's what I did. I didn't really hang out with a lot of high school kids in high school. I had an older boyfriend, and I learned, listened, be self-aware of what you're saying, what you're doing, where you're at, who you're with. Like, it's just when you kind of get that rhythm and then you really pick up on people who you want to be like. And what did they do? Ask the right questions. Like, don't take advantage of time because time is so fucking important and it's something you can't get back. So if you're with somebody that you want to be like, you better fucking open your ears and ask the right questions and then really be engaged with people and learn. So that's how.
It's true. Smart. You've been around some
facts.
incredible people, obviously,
Yeah,
your entire
yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
that's been a great little avenue.
Yeah.
When money comes in, you learn pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know
That
what I'm
worked.
saying? Like when money
Keep
starts
doing
coming in,
that.
Yeah.
that didn't work. That worked.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get one or the other.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of money, the second, maybe 1A, 1B, the second thing that when you search your name or the question that people want to ask for you, everyone's obsessed.
What?
Everybody wants to know how much Brittney Palmer makes on OnlyFans.
I need a range. We don't need a hard number, but I need a range.
These
a
are
fairly
literally
close
what the
range.
internet is Googling on a consistent basis.
I make. How much do surgeons make a month?
A month? I
Brain
think they're
surgery.
pretty much on
Let's do a
salary,
year.
but again, not as much as you would
Brain
think.
surgeon probably makes $350,000, $400,000
That's
A
not
year?
lot of money,
Yeah, a year.
More than that. I do.
A month?
No, 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 no.
on a yearly basis.
It's like over 400K a year.
Yeah.
All right.
So don't go to medical school.
Yeah, get an OnlyFans.
No, go to medical school. Seriously, do that though, because we need those.
Yeah. But also, if you want a side hustle while you're in med school, I recommend
Pay for med
this.
school.
Where's the majority of the money made on OnlyFans? Because I mean, I'm not a consumer, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Lo, not that Lo's a consumer, but I think Lo knows the
Yeah, Lo-
platform a little
The
more.
circuit.
God, the circuit's great.
Fuck me, dude. Is it like the private messaging back and forth, or is it just the subscriptions?
They're
or is
opening
it-
content. I put out stuff and they open it, and then we private message and we have conversations together.
What do you mean open it? What do you mean?
Well, you sell like we call them sets. So I'll do 5-6 photos, and then you sell it, and they buy it, and then we talk about
So
it.
it's not like a base subscription where you just see everything
I
and
have
post everything?
Well, I have 2 accounts. So
Wow,
I have one.
Fuck us. Okay, 2 accounts.
I have a free account. That's more of my UFC stuff and
Hook and
painting
reel.
stuff.
Hook and reel. Sure,
Yeah, yeah.
for
And
sure.
then I have a paid subscription base, which is all free talk, so they can talk for free.
Yeah.
Any interesting conversations on
All
the,
the
on the
time.
private message?
Yeah.
Cool. You don't have to tell, but yeah,
No.
they're pretty out there.
But the thing is you got to understand, you're the driver of this whole thing. You can steer these things wherever way you want to go.
That is true.
You
As
know?
far as you or the consumer? What do you
She is.
Well,
is.
I am.
She
So
does.
I drive
Yeah.
the boat. So if it's if I don't want to talk about that, we won't talk about it. If I wanted to talk, let's talk UFC. Let's talk art. Let's talk music. Let's talk how the fuck your day was.
Let's
I don't
talk
care.
feet.
Whatever.
talk feet.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
got good feet. I got good feet.
Let's go.
Yeah,
dude. Got
it
good
doesn't.
feet.
It doesn't have to be so directed, and I think that that's what the stigma about OnlyFans is, and that's what I actually just had lunch. The meeting before this was with the CEO of OnlyFans. I just
Stop
sat with
the
her.
madness. Let's go.
Yeah, they're in town. I just sat with her, and we were talking about this rebranding. I have I know all of them well, and it doesn't have to be this porn site. It's not. It's really about engagement with the fans that are paying creators, because things like Instagram doesn't. And I think it's important because we produce and have produced for these other social media platforms for free. And they have never given us one inkling of maybe now, so I can't even you can get paid for reels now or whatever, but I think that OnlyFans is really about fans. It's about creating content for them, painting videos, time lapse. I paint on camera in normal people clothes, and I just paint. and they can just watch me paint. Like, it doesn't have to be this overly sexified, platform, because it's not.
Do you think we'll ever get away from that stigma? Because remember, they tried to ban adult content,
yeah.
and that quickly
Like no
ended.
nudity or whatever.
Yeah.
You know how many subscribers OnlyFans got on that?
New ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a decent amount.
But
I
it
mean,
sounds cool to be like, oh, painting, talking, conversing, but it's still about tits.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, sure. But I think that what isn't?
No, yeah. No, I did
yeah,
watch
yeah.
her sit down. She did a recent talk, and she did say the platform is trying to get into the more, I guess,
Yeah,
public
that's why
image.
they have OFTV, and I
Correct.
think that it's really like combining all of it. Why does it have to be one or the other? There are fighters that go on there that aren't just posting sexy stuff.
Sure.
Like, they're doing fight videos and workout videos, and it's a platform where creators can go create and actually get paid for their work. And that's what I think that, yes, I do think it will go in that direction, because I asked Amy today how many creators, and there's something like 4 million creators on there.
crazy. Wow,
that's a
Something
lot.
insane. I mean, that number, don't quote me, because my memory, but it's a lot. It's a lot of people, and it's changed a lot of lives. And I think that that's also something really important.
massively.
Massively. Yeah.
It's also taken, like you said, you're in the driver's seat. You're just in the driver's seat in general, like of how much money you want to make, what you want to do for it.
If you want to create sets, create sets. If you want to paint, paint. You don't. Who cares?
You know what I do think? One, that just the brand of OnlyFans has done, like versus like we've all gotten a notification now, like, hey, do you want to do Instagram subscriptions, right? Like, get people to do it on Instagram directly now. And no matter who you are and what you do, if you launch an OnlyFans, you'll get 10, 50 times more people to go just at least look to see what it's about.
Yeah.
Versus if you do an Instagram subscription, just because you're curious on what exactly
How
is
deep
going
are they
to
going into
Yeah,
it?
like what's actually
Yeah.
going to be on there.
Yeah.
So even maybe it's just like hey, we're doing this, let's go look at it. And people might just go look at it way more than they do like a Patreon.
Well, it's also
Or-
like how you make your page is kind of like a representation of who you are in that. Like, okay, so Instagram, you can't say this, you can't do this,
Sure.
you can't wear that.
Sure.
Anything that's even implied, if I put a sexy photo of me in a bikini and the bikini might look like a thong, I could get banned. I have gotten shadow banned for that. Like,
Right.
not even just a bikini. So they've really monitored and, stopped a lot of people from speaking their mind and whatever they want to talk about. Politics, who cares? OnlyFans doesn't. It's literally whatever you want. You could sit there and make sushi in fucking cowgirl boots, and it doesn't matter. Naked, they don't care. They're
That's
like
actually a
sick.
great
That's
niche.
like a great
It's
idea.
That's a
fantastic
great
niche.
idea.
That's really
That's
stupid.
a fucking great
Fantastic
idea.
niche.
I
Actually stealing
mean,
that.
that's the thing. It's like, and I think that that's really exciting. You
If
know,
we did an OnlyFans, what should we do? What can podcasters do on OnlyFans?
well, first of all, podcast. You could
Yeah,
podcast OnlyFans models, bring them in. What else do they do other than that? How do they create content? What do they get ideas from? Like, who's their photographer? What's their dad? Like, there's so many things you can do. I mean, I would podcast if I were you.
I want to jump behind that paywall. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's honestly, you know what's funny is that a lot of people, I think, like you said, look, OnlyFans obviously has a very interesting connotation, right? Some people are like very thankful for it. Some people are obviously extremely against it, or they just don't understand it. They judge it super hard. At the end of the day, do me a favor and laugh right in the camera all the way to the fucking bank.
Yes,
Because
100%.
like no one's doing anything for you.
Yeah.
And like you're doing you and you're going to do it, and everyone can complain and
good.
bitch while that monthly check is coming in.
Yeah, I'm good.
Being like,
It's
hey,
fine. And the
everyone's
thing is anyone that's going to talk shit about anybody, it ultimately doesn't have anything to do with me and has everything to do with them and how they feel. I don't
Yeah.
talk shit about people. Why? Because I don't fucking care.
Right.
Like, I don't
Seriously.
have a need to. And when I catch myself talking shit, I'm like, what is in me that's unhappy that I need to put my unhappiness on someone else's happiness and or problems? Like, it has nothing to do with us. It's everything to do with them. So when you really understand that concept, I'm like, talk all the shit you want. Like you said, I'll take it right to the bank. I don't care.
Bye.
100%.
If you-
I'll buy
you-
another house. It's fine.
Let's go.
Yeah. By the way, if you were just listening to audio, there's a massive slow motion hair flip that just happened. She hit it with that one. You could hear it across the mic. In the flip side as well, if you went money first to a lot of people on the street and be like, hey, what would you do for X more on a monthly basis?
Anything. They would
The
do
answers would pretty much be
anything.
like, I don't know, anything. What's
Yeah,
the answer?
They'd
pal?
be like, you tell me.
All of it.
But
All
and,
of it.
and
All
the
of it.
craziest part is that on the other undying level is that a lot of people are offering subscriptions, content. Everyone is doing content now.
Yeah.
Everyone's shilling products. Everyone's doing that. If you have enough people out there that are willing to pay the amount of money that people are making on that, that's like marketing business 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Product market fit. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Like, and by the way, OnlyFans is making. Did you see the money they're making last year?
Ridiculous amounts.
Unbelievable.
Unheard of amounts.
Yeah.
Tell the CEO of OnlyFans we'd like to have her on the podcast too, just to pick her brain on
Tell
how
who?
she's the CEO of OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like
I'll
what
tell
a,
her.
what an insane business model that went from 0 to
Yeah.
what they said they
move.
profited. They profited like almost like 800 million or something,
Yeah.
$700 million.
Yep.
Profited?
Profited.
Jeez.
Like unbelievable because of the gross they pay out.
Yeah.
Like they don't just
They
take
just
a
take the rake.
Right.
the rip or whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. By the way, very excited for everything you're doing. Super
you.
excited for your art.
Thank
What do
you.
we have to do to get a painting here? What do we have to do?
To get a painting in here?
No, in general,
Where are you
like, so
gonna put it?
do you only paint like people? Like, what's the other landscape?
I paint abstracts, people, things. I guess I can really paint anything. I'm getting ready to do a series right now, and I'm kind of focused more into like crystals, mushrooms, that whole
Fucking
space.
crystals, dude.
Sedona.
Here we go.
I
Here we
know.
Do you know Whitney Johns?
who?
You know who Whitney Johns is?
Uh-uh.
She's been on our podcast. We're gonna connect you guys because
Oh wait, I think I know the model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know her.
she
Yeah,
is
Whitney.
very crystals,
We went over the
mushrooms.
whole thing.
Yeah,
Sedona.
I mean, I can paint anything, and you can find my work on my Instagram, Brittney Palmer, Brittney Palmer Art, which is my other Instagram, my OnlyFans page, of course, and BrittneyPalmer.com.
Question for you:
Yeah.
Do you paint the portraits? Do you ever paint them live?
Yeah, for sure.
Is there someone that you've always wanted to paint live? Like if you could paint anyone live, who would it be?
Oh, like a live model?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I haven't done that since art school. I don't know. That's a good question. Can they be alive? Oh, can they be dead?
Yeah,
Anybody.
Sure, anybody.
Yeah, in theory.
We'll bring them back for it.
Like, I would love to have painted Marilyn Monroe live.
Wow.
Because I painted her portrait several times, and I just thought I just love her face, and I'm good at it. I think that it would be sick to have her sit in front of me. Yeah.
Agreed on that.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you've like wanted to paint that you just haven't yet? That maybe it's just like can't wrap your brain around it. It might be difficult, or
Not necessarily someone, but something. I want to paint a album cover. That's on my. I want to paint for a musician, band, orchestra. Don't care. Want to do it. That's on my list. It's gonna happen.
That's
that would be
fire.
right. Is anyone like on your top list like that? This would be the person that I would want.
You know,
Put it in the universe.
Yeah, the music speaks to you.
I was gonna say Rufus Du Sol, but I just found out that they're breaking up, so my dreams are crushed.
Well, the reunification one day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends. Like the National, that would be sick,
That'd be dope.
right? Kings of Leon, that would be sick. I don't know.
You're obviously on the way
Yeah,
For sure.
between Star Wars, Tops, MLB.
yeah. That's the thing. You just have an idea and you ask for it.
What if you just painted an album cover and sent it to a band?
I could. Yeah.
That'd be a cool idea.
I mean, that's how I did a lot of. I mean, with Star Wars, I painted a Star Wars card. With UFC, which is one of my favorite UFC moments, I painted Reebok. For Reebok, they commissioned me to do the UFC fighter shirts, and so I was standing on stage. But 5 years prior, or maybe even 10 at that time, 10 years, I submitted paintings and sketches to UFC to paint UFC t-shirts, and they were like, "Oh, those are so nice. Thank you so much for submitting them." And then, 10 years later, I
Back
ended up-
burner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, I got to paint for Reebok, and the fighters wore my shirts on stage. So
That's sick.
That's dope.
Entirely jealous of your talent for sure.
thank you.
Oh, 100%.
I'm trash.
Doesn't
Yeah,
work,
this is
doesn't work.
absolutely terrible. This was awesome. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having
Guys,
me.
Brittney Palmer, go check out the art. Follow her on social media.
Yeah.
Check out the gallery. Make an appointment if you do so.
Yeah, by appointment only.
Be straight up on this, okay?
Yes.
Guys, we'll see you next week.
Yes, yes.